Hello, and welcome back to AI news that you should know about for the week of June 19th. I'm your host, Ashley Coffey.
And I'm Daniel Hill. There's a lot of AI news out there. We give you the weekly highlights in 15 minutes.
If you enjoyed this content, please leave a review of the show on Apple Podcasts. It's free, it only takes a minute, and it really helps others find the show. You can get it there from the link in the show notes. And if you do it, we will give you a shout out on the show. So, even more of an incentive to do that. This week on the show, we'll be talking about Snap stock falls as specs augmented reality glasses draw mixed reactions. Anthropic disabled Fable 5 and Mythos 5 after a US export control order. And Google bets on Gemini to reinvent the smart home speaker. And the smartphone era created an attention crisis. Slow tech is fixing it.
We'll be covering all of that on our show today, but first, here's a quick word from our sponsors.
Everyone talks about summer like it's supposed to be carefree. But if this season brings up money stress, body stress, family stress, or social stress, that's real too. Growth therapy can help with that. Whether it's your first time in therapy or your 50th, Grow makes it easier to find a therapist who fits you, not the other way around. They connect you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person visits, nights and weekends. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. And if something comes up, you can cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Grow accepts over 100 insurance plans, including Medicaid in some states. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/booknow to get started. That's growtherapy.com/booknow. growtherapy.com/booknow. Availability and coverage by state and insurance plan.
Welcome back. Let's dive in. All right. So if you've seen the headlines, Snap unveiled a brand new glasses this week at Augmented World Expo, which is where I'm currently recording from in Long Beach, California. And Snap stock falls as specs augmented reality glasses draw mixed reactions. So let's talk about it. This is coming out of Yahoo Finance. And a day after the company launched its ambitious specs augmented reality glasses, the stock took a little bit of a dump. Now, here's what happened. These new glasses are designed to be self-contained computing devices, a little bit of a competitor to Meta, and they're a little bit pricey because they're priced at $2,195, which are way more expensive than the Meta Ray-Ban displays, which cost $800. And Snap's glasses, however, offer displays in both lenses versus just the singular lens in the Meta Ray-Ban display. And they also do not require an external device to interact with on-screen content, similar to the neural band you have to wear if you're wearing the Meta Ray-Ban displays. But the specs price and the sheer size, they appear fairly large compared to normal glasses, and they sent Snap stock sinking roughly 4% overnight. I've seen the specs. I think they're promising because they're promising more privacy, more autonomy and control from the user side, which I appreciate. It just sucks that they don't have the form factor like, Ray-Ban that's cute and fun. But I think once they actually hit the market, people will start to see the value add of them. I wasn't able to try them on, but I was able to see them. They look cool, but they are pretty big. What are your thoughts, Daniel?
I think they are very large, like you said. I think the problem is we're comparing them to the Meta Ray-Bans, which are normal sunglass sized, normal glasses sized. Whereas if we were comparing them to the Apple Vision Pros, which are way larger than the Snap glasses here, we would see, oh, the Snap glasses are much smaller. I think we're comparing it to the wrong thing. However, that price tag of $2,200 to me is still too high. It could do a lot of things. It's a platform. There's definitely going to be huge shifts here in the market because of what Snap is bringing to the table. But I still think it is way too high of a price tag for the average consumer.
Correct. And I think where we're going to see success here is like high editorial fashion and industries that can afford to buy this. I will say there's a reason behind why it's so expensive. It's using two Snapdragon chips on board to power both of the displays. So, one, the technology isn't at a point where it's small enough and light enough yet to fit inside of a Ray-Ban display. So, in the meantime, we're left with these huge, chunky glasses. So, we'll see what happens. All right. Anthropic disabled Fable 5 and Mythos 5 after a US export control order. Here's what happened. This is coming out of Forbes, and we'll link to it in the show notes. That way you can read it if you want to. But here is exactly what happened. The US government ordered Anthropic to take down its new AI models, Claude Fable 5 and Mythos 5, that we covered in our show last week, just 3 days after their public launch on June 12th. They cited national security concerns and export control powers. And the Commerce Department mandated the suspension of access for all foreign nationals, leading to a global shutdown. The move followed a report of a jailbreak bypassing safety guardrails and potentially turning the model into an unrestricted cyber tool. White House advisor David Sachs claimed Anthropic refused to fix the issue, and while Anthropic disputed the jailbreak severity and criticized the government's opaque process, Amazon's CEO Andy Jassy reportedly alerted officials to the security risk. This aggressive action sets a significant precedent for government intervention in commercially deployed AI amidst an ongoing conflict between Anthropic and the Trump administration. I'll go ahead and stop there. What are your thoughts so far, Daniel?
I think this is a confusing story because what happened here is a tool got released that was hamstrung, right? So that people couldn't use it for malicious intent. But the US government is saying people potentially could use it for malicious intent once they figured out how to work around however you've hamstrung this. Therefore, we do not think it should be released. And I do understand where they're coming from. However, it seems that perhaps whoever made this determination did not fully understand exactly how it was hamstrung, how the tool was prevented from doing its full capability so that it could not be used nefariously. So I think this is a really confusing one, but I do think this tool indicates what Anthropic has under their belt, which is a really powerful tool set that the government thinks is so powerful, not everyone should even have access to the hamstrung version of it. That says to me, Anthropic has set themselves up very well in this particular niche or this particular area.
I agree. And I think they will continue to lead the way throughout the rest of the year, just based on some signals that I'm seeing. And just kind of wrapping that up, the shutdown also lands at a commercially sensitive moment. Anthropic filed a confidential IPO prospectus with the SEC earlier this month, disclosing a revenue run rate of $47 billion and a valuation of $965 billion with a B.
That's
What?
really important context. We talked about that a couple weeks ago on the show, and I think it is really good that you brought that up again because it's so important to remember what the costs are and what the earnings are in comparison.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be talking about Google bets on Gemini to reinvent the smart home speaker, and the smartphone era created an attention crisis. Slow tech is fixing it.
Welcome back. Continuing with our stories, Google bets on Gemini to reinvent the smart home speaker. By way of background, a few years ago, AI really wasn't the way we think of it today. It was all about smart speakers, the Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, and Siri. Those were the main competitors. You had to speak the commands in the exact right syntax to get the response you needed. So you had to say the phrase exactly the way the smart speaker was looking to hear it. Then OpenAI launched ChatGPT and everything changed. Since then, we've seen Apple announce a more intelligent Siri powered by Gemini, although it's not released yet. We've seen Amazon launch Alexa Plus, but Alexa Plus really hasn't gained a lot of traction in the marketplace. Here's the news. On Wednesday, Google announced its first audio device specifically built for Gemini with the $99 Google Home speaker. This is different from the previous devices in that you'll be able to speak using natural language requests and make even multi step requests using whatever phrasing you want. So you could say to the smart speaker, turn off all the lights except for my bedside lamp, or dim the kitchen lights, play some relaxing music, and set a timer for 20 minutes. You couldn't do all of those things in any way, shape, or form with the old devices. You can also make corrections mid sentence. So you could say, turn off the coffee maker. No, wait, turn it on. And the AI will respond appropriately. Here's the part that I think is most interesting. Google will be selling Google Home premium subscription plans for $10 a month if you want to take advantage of these more powerful AI features, including the ability to have free flowing conversations with Gemini Live. And it can also make sense of the activity captured on your home's Nest cameras, offer summaries of what happened in the house while you were out, and more. Ashley, what's your take on this?
I am very interested in this because Google was kind of I mean, Google and Alexa were the first to market for the smart speakers. And I was really disappointed that Google didn't do more than I feel like it could have when it comes to competition for the smart speaker. And then here we are in 2026, and no one has really figured it out still. So it's nice to see them kind of take another approach, another swing at it. Because it was just in its first iteration when we saw it. But with AI now, I mean, the opportunities are unlimited. So I'm excited to see what they come up with.
I was thinking about it from the sense that we're so used to paying for the smart speaker one time. Paying monthly isn't something we've done historically. So I think it requires a pretty significant justification in order to get people to pay monthly for service on a smart speaker beyond their music streaming subscription and whatever other subscriptions they already have in the house.
I'm just going to say this for everyone to hear it if you're listening, but please stop charging everyone subscriptions. I don't want another
Yes,
subscription for my subscription. Okay.
I
I
am
just want to
right
buy
there
it.
with you on that. Yes, just pay once and be done. Let's move on to our last story. The smartphone era created an attention crisis. Slow tech is fixing it. It's obvious we all spend too much time staring at screens. We're not engaged with each other when face to face. Fixing that problem is harder than it sounds, though, because we use our phones for everything. Every time I think about going out and leaving my phone at home, I realize it's my credit card, has all my music, my podcasts, my entertainment during downtime, my way of getting in touch with anyone in an emergency, and a lot more. A company called Backmarket is focusing on advertising older technology. They're an online marketplace for refurbished products. In the 28th Street subway station in Manhattan, there's a 5 foot by 4 foot poster promoting the iPod Shuffle, trying to get people to buy one with the promise of, quote, zero screen time, end quote. That's literally what the ad says. I mean, if you think about it, in that subway, passing right by that ad are people wearing wireless Bluetooth headphones, accessing their entire Spotify or Apple Music libraries with hundreds of millions of songs. But demand is growing for this obsolete tech. If those devices weren't generating sales, this company Backmarket wouldn't have taken out a large premium ad in this subway station. For younger people, there's a magic to these older devices with wired headphones, retro gaming consoles, digital point and shoot cameras, CDs. They didn't grow up with this. So it's interesting to them. They are looking for experiences that don't monopolize their attention. Old school cameras can't easily upload photos to Instagram. There's no ads in retro games. There's a lot of reasons to like these older devices. Ashley, what's your take?
I'm so glad you picked this one, Daniel, because I learned about this company last year through some of the advertisements they had in Subway. Because I follow some fashion tech blogs and they were posting pictures about this. And one, I love the concept of it because one, no one else is doing it and how original and sustainable. But two, this is a huge inflection point in technology. If people are looking at older technology and it's becoming desirable, then we somehow got something wrong along the way from point A to point B of where we are now. So I think that's why people are naturally becoming more drawn to this OG tech with intuitive design because that's what we are craving. So bravo to this company for putting together a business plan around it and being really strategic and smart. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for slow tech too. I mean, there are downsides, right? Getting music on an iPod is not easy. It requires so many
Oh,
steps that it really shouldn't. But not having screens around you all the time, I mean, it forces you to use your imagination, to get creative, to amuse yourself. You might read something interesting or see something interesting. It sparks an idea, a funny thought, an event you want to plan now because of it. And I think that opportunity for conversation with other people, all because you weren't looking at a screen at that moment, is just it's not something you could put a price tag on. So I'm all for that slow tech.
but also, it's good for us too, as elder millennials, I guess, that we still have some of our old tech, and that old tech is still
Yes.
valuable, which is exciting. I was able to
Yes.
dust off my old Sony CyberShot, and my gosh, how fun was it to like go play with it again and realize I remember what it was like to carry around an actual camera
Yes.
that
Yes.
wasn't in my phone.
Right. That is it for our AI news you should know about this week. You can find links to everything we talked about in the show notes. And please connect with us on social media so you can tell us what you think of the show and how we can improve it. You can find me on Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at Daniel Hill Media.
And if you want more tech talk, you can find me on Instagram at AshleyRCoffee89, where you can sign up for my monthly AI newsletter where you can get the latest AI updates delivered to your inbox, the link in my bio.
Thank you for listening and come back next week for more AI news you should know about.